Hello everyone, this is Netra Shah. We are learning healing after periodontal surgery. First of all, we'll start with some terminologies. First is the wound, then wound healing, repair, and regeneration. Wound. Wound is a disruption of the anatomical or the functional continuity of living tissues. It can be due to physical, surgical, chemical, thermal, microbial, or immunological insults to the tissues. Wound healing is a phenomenon by which body attempts to restore the tissue integrity by formation of new structures aimed to replace the defect. The new structures may more or less match the original structure. Repair. Repair refers to restoration of the tissue architecture and function after an injury. There are two types of reaction. Regeneration. Some tissues are able to replace the damaged components and essentially return to the normal state, like liver. Liver transplant. In liver transplant, a part of liver is transplanted into the body, and it will be regenerate in the body. Repair by scarring. If the injured tissue are incapable, complete restitution or the supporting structures are severely damaged. Repair occurs by laying down of connective tissue, a process termed healing that results in the scar formation. Now, types of healing. Healing can be occur into three types: primary intention, secondary intention, and tertiary intention. Primary intention, when wound edges are directly next to one another. Little tissue loss is there and the minimal scarring occur after the healing. Secondary intention, the wound is allowed to granulate. Granulation result in the broader scar. Healing process can be slower. Wound care must be performed daily to encourage wound debris removal to allow for granulation tissue formation. Examples of secondary intention healing are gingivectomy, gingivoplasty, tooth extraction sockets, poorly reduced fracture. Healing by tertiary intention, the wound is initially cleaned, debrided, and observed, typically 4 or 5 days before the closure. Presence of infection is there in the tertiary intention. The human adult wound healing process can be divided into 4 distinct but overlapping phases. The first is the exudative phase. Within hours, this phase is seen. Within hours of the injury, this phase is seen. Then, resorptive phase. After day 0 to 4 days of the injury, resorptive phase is there. Proliferative phase from day 3 up to 2 weeks. Regenerative phase from day 8 up to months. Phase 1 and 2 are the inflammatory phase. This shows the overlapping of the phases. Two phases at the same time. Growth factors in the periodontal wound healing. Growth factors are polypeptide molecules released by cells in the inflamed area that regulate events in the wound healing, regulates connective tissue cell migration and proliferation and synthesis of the proteins and other components of extracellular matrix. Growth factors can be used to control events during the periodontal wound healing. Example, promoting proliferation of fibroblasts from the periodontal ligament and favoring bone formation. So these are the growth factors. The sources from where the growth factors are derived are the macrophages, platelets, dermal fibroblasts, plasma platelets, keratinocytes, neutrophils. And these are the effects of those growth factor on the periodontal surgery healing. Then clinical requirements for the effective healing. The application of initial therapy prior to surgical intervention, the selection of the surgical approach specific for the cure of the particular inflammatory lesion, the type of the tissue environment that exists after the surgery, the degree of fibrosis of the gingiva prior to and after the surgery. The method by which the surgical wound is protected in the postoperative period, the maintenance of the dentition and the periodontium by the patient and the dentist daily and in the periodic visits. Now we are going through some periodontal surgical procedures like scaling and root planning, gingivectomy, curettage, and the flap surgery. There are other surgeries as well like guided tissue regeneration, bone grafts, but we are going through this basic surgeries like scaling and root planning. What is scaling and root planning? It removes the surface aeration and retards further accumulation of deposits. Healing after the SRP is mainly seen in the day 0 to 1 after 1 to 2 weeks. Healing completely occurs. On day 0, bleed and exudation of the GCF will remove the irritants. Epithelial attachment is severed. Acute inflammatory reaction in the connective tissue is seen. After an initial lag of 12 to 24 hours, epithelial migration begins. On the day 2, inflammation decreases and epithelialization enhanced. On day 5, new epithelial attachment is present, and after 1 to 2 weeks, residual retipex, involute, and clinically gingival health is present. Curettage involves removal of the pocket wall. Chemical and mechanical curettage is there. The sharp curette or blade, however, has remained the method of choice. Duration immediately after first day, after second day, this is the duration of healing. There are changes in the connective tissue, epithelial changes are also seen, and the clinical changes are there. After 2 weeks, there is complete contour, consistency, color, texture of the gingiva is present in the after curettage. Ultrasonic curettage shows heat coagulation of the epithelium. Immediately after areas of the coagulation, tissue discontinuity is seen, fused collagen is there. This is the method of faster healing. Chemical curettage is not a faster healing method, it is a delayed healing method, because the sodium sulfite, alkaline sodium hypochlorite, or phenol like chemicals are used, and there is no control over the magnitude of the tissue destruction. More severe damage of underlying connective tissue and bone is present in the chemical curettage. Then gingivectomy. Gingivectomy is the elimination of the suprabony pockets when the underlying bone does not require therapy. It is elimination of the gingival enlargement. Surgically, it can be performed by scalpel or the electrodes. Produce an open surface wound, heals by the secondary intention. This is the duration after which the healing takes place. Connective tissue changes, epithelium changes, and minor bone changes after the 5th to 14th days, where the transient surface resorption is there. By 7th week of gingivectomy, there is complete repair in the connective tissue is seen, where the inflammation is totally subsided, and the keratinization of the epithelium is seen by 4th to 5th week. Electrosurgery gingivectomy, where the electrodes are used, but these are the authors which says that delayed epithelialization is seen while electrosurgery gingivectomy is done, but it has the advantage of no bleeding and transient hyalinized connective tissue is there. Then laser gingivectomy has its own advantages like minimal disturbance of surrounding tissues, hemostatic effects are there, lesser edema and pain, sterilization of wounds, minimal scarring is there. Healing is delayed, reepithelialization is delayed here, lesser inflammatory response, thermal necrosis is present, and decreased wound contraction. Chemosurgery gingivectomy, chemicals used are phenols, paraformaldehyde, potassium hydroxide. Incomplete gingival remodeling is there. Delayed epithelialization, connective tissue repair. Increased inflammation after the chemical trauma. No control over the depth of the action. Now we are going through a flap surgery. Flap surgery in which a periodontal flap is elevated to access the periosteum over the bone, over the teeth. Periodontal flap, a section of gingiva and or mucosa surgically elevated from the underlying tissue to provide visibility and access to the root and the bone surface. Healing takes place here by primary and secondary intention. Here we can see elevated periodontal flap to access the periodontium or the periodontal bone, periosteum. Reflection of the epithelium and a layer of connective tissue. Bone remains covered by a layer of connective tissue including periosteum. Here a layer of connective tissue is remained over the periosteum and the flap is elevated with margin of epithelium and a partial connective tissue. This is the healing after flap surgery. So after duration of 2 hours of flap surgery, there is no clavicular epithelium or epithelial attachment is there. Narrow zone of necrosis on the surgical surface of flap. Blood clot is seen, superficial necrotic changes in alveolar surface, and there are empty lacunae. Then the bone does not show any blood. 24 hours, thick band of PMNL cells are there. Bone appears vital. After 2 days, epithelial cells have started migrating. Blood clot and the PMNL cells are there. Angioblasts and fibroblasts at alveolar crest are present. Superficial necrosis of the bone is there. Cementoblasts dearranged for 1 mm from the wound surface. After 3 days, epithelium makes contact with the teeth surface. Thin blood clot is there. Inflammation decreases and the connective tissue grows between the flap and bone. Collagen fibers within flap undergoes necrosis. Granulation tissue starts forming. After 5 days, granulation tissue is present. Osteoclast from marrow for 1 mm over pedial membrane sides of bone. Cementoblast missing for 1 mm apical to alveolar crest. After 7 days, formation of the epithelial attachment begins. Granulation tissue adheres the flap to underlying bone. Severe osteoclastic activity for 2 to 3 mm is present in this phase. On the 9th day, clavicular epithelium and the new epithelial attachment is present. Some cementoclastic activity is there. Osteoclastic activity over the alveolar crest is also present. Periodontal fibers replaces by the vascular granulation tissue. On the 14th day, band of the connective tissue between the flap and underlying bone is present. Free gingiva, vascular granulation tissue, no functional orientation. Alteration, osteoclastic and the osteoblastic activities are present. New periosteum, connective cells are surrounded by the immature collagen is also there. On the 21st day after the flap surgery, fully epithelialized gingival crevices is there. Well-defined epithelial attachment is present. Functional arrangements of the supracrestal fibers, osteoblastic activity, cementoblasts are normally arranged. On the 35th day, gingival adaptation is seen. Chronic inflammation in the connective tissue is there. On the 72 days after the flap surgery, total clavicular depth is 1 mm. Parakeratinized free gingival margin is present. Periosteum appears normal. Functional orientation of the gingival fibers, immature collagen is present in that, and the newly formed bone on the tip of the alveolar crest is present. Thank you.